Hello everybody, welcome to this week's Wisdom Wednesday. My name is Kristen Gear. I am the Director of Operations for BNI Arizona, and each week I come to you providing a weekly education nugget called Wisdom Wednesday that counts as one chapter education unit for watching. So thank you guys so much for tuning in to this week's edition. Happy July everybody. I can't believe we are in July already. It is hot out there. I hope you are all doing things to stay cool, whether it's here in Arizona or if you're traveling this week because of the holiday. Safe travels, everybody. But today I wanted to update you guys on some upcoming events and then really touch on substitutes because it is July. A lot of people have plans. So I want to help you guys succeed and grow more visibility in BNI. I've visited several chapters lately, and there were a lot of members that were absent without a substitute. So I wanted to give you guys some tools to help you get more visibility in BNI. But first off, some upcoming things. So right now we are still going through leadership and support team transition time. The link is still open, guys. So if you haven't submitted your nominations for the leadership team, even if you're unsure of who to nominate for the incoming leadership team, we still want to make sure that you're submitting the second part of that form, which goes through the top 3 roles that you personally want to help support the chapter in. Because really the entire chapter can have a role, and it takes the entire chapter to work as a team to create more success. So the more entries that we receive from all of you on what roles that you want to help support the chapter in, it makes life 100 times easier for the current and incoming leadership team to be able to assist the chapter to assign members where they want to be, because that's the whole goal, is to place members in roles that they are passionate in supporting the chapter in. Outside of that, if there's roles that need to be filled, if someone didn't fill out a form, then we can move them into a role. So if you let us know where you would love to help out your chapter, that makes life 100 times easier. So if you haven't submitted it, please make sure to submit your nomination forms. It's not too late. Even though I put in the email, it was due last Monday, the link is still open. I'm not going to close it out, and every entry that comes in, because even over the last day we had 5 more entries come in, that's totally fine. Because what I've done on the back end is I created an individual spreadsheet for every single chapter. So as more nominations come in, I'll be able to submit that feedback to your leadership team so that way they can include that information in their decisions as we go through this whole interview process for the incoming leadership team. And then once the new leadership team is picked, then we will start to go through the process of assigning all the support team roles. Now the transition, guys, doesn't fully change over until October 1st. But the reason why we do everything now is to allow leadership teams enough time so that way they're not rushing at the very end, because we do have leadership and support team trainings coming up. It's 3 dates in September. I did add them on the calendar. I will add them to the Power of One email that's going to be sent out this afternoon. So stay tuned for the Power of One email. And guys, make sure to log your chapter education units, especially if you're watching these videos. The chapter education units don't just happen through osmosis. You need to make sure to log your activity. There's too many goose eggs in the chapter education column on the Power of One. So log these units. It's the easiest chapter education unit that you can get because it's less than an hour of time spent and you get to learn some updates on all things BNI. So make sure to log it. Check the Power of One email for all of the upcoming dates. So we have new member success program dates. So if you haven't completed your member success program training, all of the dates are on the calendar. We do offer them weekly now, so there's plenty of opportunities to be able to get that training completed, and it's updated information. So if you've already completed member success program training, I highly recommend going through it again because it's really, really great stuff. But with the upcoming leadership and support team training, guys, all roles will be able to choose one of the 3 dates. All 3 of the trainings are exactly the same. So in years past, we used to have individual trainings for specific roles, but all roles will be able to pick one of the 3 dates. Again, you don't have to complete all 3, just pick one of the 3 dates. But if you're in any leadership or support team role, those trainings are required. So highly recommend blocking it out, checking out the dates, put it on your calendar now so that way it's already in there. We're a couple months ahead of schedule. So now is the best time to just block it out on your calendar. And if you're a brand new chapter and you're not going through the leadership and support team transition in October, everyone will still go through the leadership and support team training because we have our business coach Zanzibar coming in and doing a lot of training on vision and goals, leadership, entrepreneurship, all amazing things to create more value for you, your business, and your chapter for this upcoming year. So you don't want to miss it. Even if you're not in a leadership and support team role, let's get you involved so that way you can attend the training and maximize on the value that we're going to be providing for this upcoming year. So we're really looking forward to leveling up the playing field for this next year to have everyone winning more than ever. All right, so today's topic all about substitutes, because I was shocked that so many members recently, when I visit a lot of chapter guys, so I usually go to about 5 to 6 meetings a week, just throughout town. And the trend right now, and it is summertime, I get it, vacations. However, substitutes are key because when you're not in the room and your business isn't represented, that's a lost opportunity for more visibility for your business. If you're not in the room or you don't have a representative talking about your business in the room, then that's a missed opportunity to be able to build your business. So the best thing to do, guys, is to make sure to line up a substitute. Now, some great people that would be perfect to kind of tap into to be substitutes for you are other business professionals, clients, or some of your suppliers, your staff or sales representatives, industry colleagues. So one of the things that I recommend for all members, guys, is to create your own substitute list, not a chapter substitute list, because if you have a chapter substitute list, you have a short list of people that kind of, you go through the rotation and you see the same people over and over and over. And what happens is those people, in essence, end up being serial substitutes. Now, when it comes to professionals coming to a chapter, representing your business, and then if they have the opportunity to represent their own, they can only give a presentation about their business 2 times per BNI year, even if they're substituting. If they're a BNI member, it's still 2 times per BNI year. When chapters don't hold members or visitors or guests accountable to that, it will, in essence, stunt the chapter's growth. I see it all the time. So we need to make sure that we're sticking to that 2 times per BNI year when someone is coming into the chapter to represent you and then also representing their own business. Now, the great thing is the value of having different people coming in. One, it gives more visibility for everyone in the room because there's more opportunities for other people to learn about the members' businesses in the room, and you're not just seeing the same people all the time, right? And then the quality of substitute also matters. So you want to make sure, one, that you have the best person to represent you if you're not going to make it. Really, the ultimate best person to represent you and your business is yourself. So one of the things that I always made sure was I time blocked on my calendar my weekly BNI meeting, so that way I scheduled everything around it. I viewed it as my number 1 client of the week. It was part of my sales piece of my business. So I tripled my business in BNI with keeping that a priority. I had 2 substitutes in 10 years in my chapter, and I utilized my weekly meetings to make sure that I was building my business. It wasn't that I had to go, I got to go to BNI. So it was really weird for those 2 times that I missed to not be in the room. Now, because you have that consistent visibility, it helps gain more referrals and more business. If you're not in the room, just being on the chapter roster is not going to help you. So you want to make sure that you're maximizing on all pieces of visibility for your business, especially when you can't make it. Now, there are times when either a substitute doesn't show up or you're sick last minute, and that's why we have absences available. So, and this has come up recently as well, so I want to make sure everyone's on the same page. So if you register your substitute, because it's always good to make sure that we are preparing our substitutes. The very first thing is connecting with someone who is able to substitute for you, then register them for the meeting so that way they get the reminders for the upcoming event. And then make sure to prepare them with what to say. The worst thing is your substitute showing up and say, oh, well, I'm here to substitute for Bob today, but they didn't tell me what to say. And then they sit down. You guys, that's the worst visibility ever. Just having someone in the room to substitute for you will not help you in your business. You need to make sure that they're prepared to give the best presentation about your business so that way it gives you and your business more visibility and credibility when you're not there. So make sure to prepare them. Now, if the substitute, they've registered and let's say they don't show up, that counts as an absence, guys. Just because you register a substitute does not mean you get credit for a substitute. They have to show up. So making sure to follow up with them. If an emergency happens morning of the meeting, make sure to communicate with your membership committee, but it doesn't count as a substitute if your substitute doesn't show up. It just doesn't. If that counted, then everyone would just register a random person to substitute for them in the system. So it's not a thing, but you want to make sure to prepare them, communicate with your substitutes as much as possible so that way they don't forget that they're coming in to substitute for you. But part of that piece of not forgetting is making sure that you register them to attend your meeting. The dogs are... Notice someone's home. So let's make sure that we prepare our substitutes for success, because then if they also represent their own business, it also gives them more positive visibility and credibility when they're representing you in the best light, and then they get to represent themselves in the best light. Another piece, guys, if you have visitors visiting your meeting and they're at the sign-in table signing in for the meeting and you have members that need a substitute, do not ask a visitor when they're signing in for your meeting to substitute for a member. Please, please, please do not do that, because that visitor was invited to your meeting or they found the meeting themselves. Sometimes they're overwhelmed just with the idea of visiting a BNI chapter and unsure what's going on. And then when someone approaches them to substitute for a member, they, one, aren't sure what that means exactly. So of course they're going to say yes, but then you're making them super nervous, especially if it's their first visit to the chapter. So please do not ask a visitor or guest when they're signing in at your meeting to substitute for a fellow member. It needs to be planned ahead of time. It's like inviting someone to a party and then asking them to take out the trash. So please, please, let's do better. And because I've been hearing that a lot lately too, is that chapter visitor hosts at the sign-in table are asking people to substitute while they're signing in for the meeting. And let's not do that. We need to hold members accountable to, one, make sure to set up your own substitutes, guys. That's why I recommend every member to create their own substitute list in your phone. That way you have your own contacts. It can even be BNI members from other chapters that can substitute for you, but you still need to make sure that it's set up in advance, especially if you know that you have vacations coming up or something planned, like a big business event. You know those things are coming up, so make sure to plan now ahead of time to line someone up to make sure that your visibility and credibility is covered in your chapter, because then it also helps out with chapter numbers. And Then on the Power of One, you're not getting a big goose egg when it comes to attendance with being absent. It does still count as half credit when you have a substitute or if you're late or you leave early from a meeting. Like I said, the best person to represent you and your business is yourself. That way you get full credit on the attendance for the Power of One. But we need to make sure that we are setting everyone up for success, not only for ourselves, but for our visitors' own visibility as well. If you ever have any questions about this, please let me know. Another resource to post about needing a substitute is on the private BNI Arizona members page. So this page here, guys, is the public page. If you are posting on this page, it is open to anybody and everybody. So I highly recommend that if you're looking for a substitute or if you're looking for a BNI connection as far as a referral to pass business to, post it on the private page, because the private page is specifically designated for active BNI Arizona members only, which are members within our BNI Arizona region. There are other BNI Arizona regions within the state of Arizona. So if you didn't know, BNI is franchise-based. We have another BNI franchise in Yuma and another one in Tucson, and part of the Tucson region is very close to our East Valley chapters. So just want to make sure that everything is clear. Like, this page has a lot of different people on it, and because it's public, a lot of spam can get through, a lot of bots, like posting and different things, because it's not private. So if you're looking for a BNI only connection, post it on the private page, because then you can ensure that only active BNI members are commenting on your post. So I highly recommend that. Just want to remind everybody, this page is also where active BNI members within our region can do one promotional post per month on this page. There's been a few people that have flagged some of the posts as spam, but we did update it a couple years ago to where active BNI members can do one promotional post per month. So again, if you have any questions, let me know. Hope you all have an amazing happy 4th of July, and looking forward to seeing you all next week. Have a great day, guys, and go Log 1 Chapter Education Unit for watching. Thank you guys so much, and we'll see you later.